The mortar shell whistled overhead like a banshee's wail, and I pressed my face into the coral limestone of what the brass called Hill 381, but we called Hacksaw Ridge. The explosion sent chunks of rock and metal fragments singing past my helmet. Through the smoke and dust, I could hear them calling, always calling. Medic! Medic! The voice belonged to Private Johnson from Baker Company, 1st Battalion, 307th Infantry Regiment. I'd patched him up twice already that morning of May 5, 1945, here on this godforsaken escarpment on Okinawa. Now he was calling again, his voice weaker, more desperate. I knew that sound. I'd heard it too many times in the past 3 weeks since we'd landed on this island that the Japanese called the Keystone of the Pacific. My name is Desmond Thomas Doss, and I'm a conscientious objector serving as a medic with the 77th Infantry Division. I don't carry a rifle, a pistol, or even a bayonet. My weapons are bandages, morphine syrettes, and an unwavering faith in the Lord's protection. And on this day, April 29th to May 21st, 1945, during the Battle of Okinawa, that faith would be tested like never before. The pre-dawn darkness of May 5th wrapped around Hacksaw Ridge like a burial shroud. At 0530 hours, our artillery began its thunderous preparation, 155 millimeters howitzers and 8-inch guns pounding the ridge top where the Japanese 32nd Army had dug in like ticks. Colonel Stephen Hamilton, our regimental commander, had briefed us the night before. The 307th Infantry would assault the 400-foot escarpment at first light, supported by the 306th and 383rd Infantry Regiments. I adjusted the straps of my aid bag, checking for the 100th time that everything was secure: battle dressings, sulfur powder, morphine syrettes, and my worn copy of the Bible that had seen me through Guam, Leyte, and now Okinawa. The men of my company, the 1st Battalion's B Company, huddled in their foxholes, faces blackened with camouflage paint and fear. Doss called out Sergeant Howell, our platoon sergeant. "You sure you don't want to carry at least 45? This ain't gonna be like the other islands." I shook my head, same as I had every time someone asked. "The Lord is my weapon, Sergeant. He's gotten me this far." Howell just grunted. Most of the men had stopped questioning my beliefs after Guam, where I'd pulled wounded soldiers from under Japanese fire without carrying so much as a switchblade. But Okinawa was different. We all felt it. This wasn't going to be another island-hopping campaign. This was Japan's last stand before their home islands, and they intended to make us pay for every yard in blood. The artillery barrage lifted at 0630 hours, and the order came down the line: move out. The cargo nets hanging down Hacksaw Ridge's cliff face swayed in the morning breeze as we began our ascent. Below us stretched the Uraso Mora escarpment, a natural fortress of coral limestone that the Japanese had turned into a maze of caves, tunnels, and fortified positions. Intelligence reported that elements of the 62nd Division and the 24th Independent Mixed Brigade were dug in up there, commanded by Lieutenant General Mitsuru Ushijima himself. My boots found purchase on the rope ladder Aussie climbed, the weight of my medical supplies pulling at my shoulders. Around me, soldiers from B Company grunted and cursed as they hauled themselves up the cliff face. The morning sun was just breaking over the East China Sea, casting long shadows across the ridge. "Keep it moving," Captain Vernon called out from above. "We need to establish a perimeter before they wake up." But they were already awake. As the first soldiers reached the plateau, the ridge erupted in gunfire. The distinctive crack of our Arisaka rifles mixed with the chatter of Type 99 machine guns. Grenades began falling like deadly hail, and I watched in horror as Private Martinez from the 2nd Platoon simply vanished in a cloud of smoke and coral dust, taking fire from cave positions. Someone screamed over the radio, "Request immediate artillery support." I crested the ridge just as a Nambu light machine gun opened up from a concealed position 30 yards to our front. 3 men went down immediately: Corporal Peterson, Private Brooks, and PFC Williams. They were crying for help, but the Japanese fire was too intense. Anyone who moved got cut down. That's when I heard the Lord's voice, clear as a church bell on Sunday morning. Go to them, Desmond. Go to them now. I don't remember making the conscious decision to move. One moment I was pressed against the coral behind a blasted tree stump. The next I was crawling across the killing ground toward the wounded men. The machine gun fire cracked over my head, so close I could feel the heat of the bullets. Mortar shells walked across the ridge like the footsteps of an angry giant. Private Williams was hit in the chest, blood frothing from his mouth with each labored breath, a sure sign of lung damage. I dragged him behind a small coral outcropping and went to work, injecting morphine and applying pressure bandages while bullets chipped the rock around us. Am I going to die, Doc? He whispered, his eyes wide with fear. Not if I have anything to say about it, son, I told him, though privately I wasn't sure. The chest wound was bad, and we were still 300 yards from the aid station at the bottom of the ridge. That's when I realized the problem we all faced. We could climb up Hacksaw Ridge, but getting the wounded back down those cargo nets was going to be impossible. The Japanese had every approach covered, and any stretcher party would be slaughtered before they made it halfway to safety. I looked around the battlefield, taking stock. There were wounded men scattered across a front of nearly 200 yards, some crying for help, others ominously silent. The Japanese had turned this ridge into a death trap, and we'd walked right into it. But I knew what I had to do. I started with the closest man, Corporal Peterson, who'd taken shrapnel in both legs from a mortar round. The fighting continued around us as I worked, our boys laying down covering fire while the Japanese poured everything they had into our positions. Lieutenant Colonel Coolidge, our battalion commander, was shouting orders over the radio, trying to coordinate artillery support, but the enemy positions were too well camouflaged. Doss, Sergeant Howell called out from a crater 20 yards away. Fall back. We're pulling off the ridge. I've got wounded here, I called back. That's an order, medic. But I couldn't leave them. I wouldn't leave them. Instead, I started dragging Peterson toward the edge of the cliff, keeping low as bullets whined overhead. The ridge was chaos, men running, shouting, dying. Smoke from burning equipment mixed with coral dust to create a fog of war that reduced visibility to mere yards. At the cliff's edge, I stared down at the 400-foot drop and realized the impossibility of what I was attempting. There was no way to carry wounded men down those cargo nets, not under fire, not without killing them from the fall. That's when I remembered the rope. Earlier that morning, I'd seen the engineers rigging a supply line, a thick manila rope designed to haul ammunition and water up the cliff face. If I could rig some kind of sling system, I might be able to lower the wounded to safety. I secured Peterson to my improvised rope sling using torn bandages and parachute cord from my aid kit. Lord, I prayed as I prepared to lower him over the edge. Let this rope hold. Let him make it safely. Hand over hand, I lowered Peterson into the darkness below, my shoulders burning with the effort. When the rope went slack, I knew he'd reached the bottom. A few minutes later, the rope jerked twice, the signal I'd arranged with the aid station below. He was alive. One down. Too many to go. What happened next blurs together in my memory like frames from a broken movie reel. For the next 12 hours, from 0800 to 2000 hours on May 5, 1945, I worked alone on that ridge while the battle raged around me. The 307th Infantry had pulled back, leaving their dead and wounded behind, but I couldn't leave. Every time I thought I'd found everyone, I'd hear another voice calling out from the smoke and ruins. Private Johnson, the one I'd heard calling at the beginning, had taken a bullet through the stomach. I found him in a shell crater, delirious with pain and blood loss. As I worked to stabilize him, Japanese soldiers began infiltrating our former positions, moving through the caves and tunnels that honeycombed the ridge. I was bandaging Johnson's wounds when I heard footsteps behind me. I turned to see a Japanese soldier, rifle in hand, not 15 feet away. He was young, maybe 17, wearing the olive drab uniform of the 32nd Army. For a moment that lasted an eternity, we stared at each other across that cratered battlefield. Then he saw my Red Cross armband, the medical supplies spread around me, the wounded American soldier in my arms. Something changed in his face, a recognition, perhaps, of what I was trying to do. He lowered his rifle, nodded once, and disappeared back into the smoke. I never knew his name, never saw him again. But in that moment, even in the midst of that terrible war, humanity won out over hatred. It gave me hope that maybe, just maybe, this nightmare would end someday. As the day wore on, the Japanese counterattacks grew more intense. The 62nd Division launched a major assault at 1400 hours, trying to push our forces completely off the southern end of Okinawa. The sound of battle echoed across the island as tanks, artillery, and aircraft joined the fight. But up on Hacksaw Ridge, there was just me and the wounded. I found Sergeant McConnell from C Company trapped under a fallen tree, both legs crushed. It took me an hour to dig him out and another 30 minutes to rig the rope sling properly. All the while, mortar shells fell around us like deadly rain. One explosion knocked me unconscious for several minutes. I came to with dirt in my mouth and blood running down my face from a scalp wound. Private Santos had taken shrapnel in the back and couldn't move his legs. I dragged him across 50 yards of open ground while Japanese snipers took potshots at us from their concealed positions. The sun was brutal that day, typical of Okinawa in early May, and I was running low on water. Corporal Washington was the hardest to reach. He'd been hit by a mortar round and was trapped in a crater near the Japanese lines. I had to wait until dark to attempt the rescue, crawling on my belly through the coral debris while enemy patrols moved overhead. "I thought you were dead, Doc," he whispered when I finally reached him. "Not yet, son. Not yet." Each trip to the cliff's edge became a test of faith and endurance. My hands were raw and bleeding from handling the rope. My back ached from dragging wounded men across rough coral. Several times, Japanese grenades exploded close enough to shower me with fragments, but somehow I remained untouched. By evening, I lost count of how many men he'd lowered to safety. Each rescue blended into the next, applying tourniquets, injecting morphine, whispering prayers as I worked. Some of the wounded were conscious and could help position themselves in the rope sling. Others were delirious or unconscious, dead weight that tested every muscle in my body as I lowered them over the cliff. As darkness fell on May 5th, the nature of the battle changed. The Japanese began their traditional nighttime infiltration tactics, sending small groups of soldiers through the tunnel systems to harass our positions below the ridge. I could hear them moving in the caves beneath me, voices echoing through the coral limestone. I was tending to Private Coleman, a kid from Ohio who'd taken shrapnel in the chest, when I heard American voices calling from the darkness. "Medic! Over here! We've got wounded!" 3 soldiers from the 383rd Infantry had been cut off during the withdrawal and were hiding in a shell crater near the eastern edge of the ridge. One of them, Sergeant Miller, had stepped on a mine and lost most of his right foot. The other 2 were helping him, but they were trapped by Japanese machine gun positions that commanded all the approaches to their location. "You shouldn't have come back up here, Doc," Miller said when I reached them. "This ridge is crawling with Japs." "Couldn't leave you boys behind," I replied, working to stop the bleeding from his mangled foot. "Can you make it to the rope?" "I don't think so. This leg's pretty well finished." That's when I made one of the hardest decisions of my life. Instead of trying to move Miller, I decided to bring the rope to him. Using parachute cord and strips torn from my shirt, I rigged an extended sling system that would allow me to lower him from his current position. It worked, but barely. The makeshift system put tremendous strain on the main rope, and I wasn't sure it would hold. But Miller made it down safely, as did his 2 companions. 3 more lives saved, but I was reaching the limits of my endurance. May 6th broke gray and overcast, with intermittent rain that turned the coral dust into a slippery paste. I'd been on the ridge for nearly 24 hours, surviving on rainwater and the last of my K rations. My uniform was torn and bloodstained, my aid bag nearly empty of supplies. That morning, I found what I initially thought was the last wounded man on the ridge. Private First Class Anderson from the 2nd Battalion had been hit by mortar fragments and was hiding in a natural cave formation. He'd been there all night, afraid to call out because of Japanese patrols. "How many did you get out, Doc?" he asked as I bandaged his wounds. "I don't know," I answered honestly. I stopped counting after 20. 20? His eyes widened. "Doc, you got 20 guys off this ridge by yourself?" I didn't answer. Numbers didn't matter. Each man I'd lowered to safety was somebody's son, somebody's husband, somebody's father. That's what mattered. As I prepared to lower Anderson over the cliff, I heard something that made my blood run cold. American voices calling for help from deep within the Japanese tunnel system. Somehow, during the confusion of battle, wounded soldiers had crawled or been dragged into the caves, probably seeking shelter from the artillery bombardment. The entrance to the tunnel system was a narrow opening in the coral, barely wide enough for a man to crawl through. I could hear voices echoing from inside, American voices calling weakly for help. Every instinct told me not to go in there. The Japanese had turned these tunnels into fortified positions, and entering them was suicide. But I couldn't leave wounded men to die in the darkness. I left my aid bag at the entrance. It was too bulky for the narrow passages, and took only the essentials: morphine, bandages, and my Bible. The tunnel was pitch black and reeked of cordite and death. I crawled forward on my hands and knees, feeling my way through the darkness. 20 feet in, I found them. 3 soldiers from the 1st Battalion who'd been wounded by the same mortar round that had collapsed part of the tunnel entrance. They'd been trapped there for over a day, unable to move, listening to the battle rage overhead. "Thank God," whispered Corporal Davis when he saw me. "We thought we were going to die in here." Getting them out required multiple trips. The tunnel was too narrow to drag an unconscious man through, so I had to stabilize each soldier where he lay, then help him crawl to the entrance. All the while, I expected Japanese soldiers to appear from the branching passages, but somehow we made it out alive. Davis, Williams, and Martinez became the last men I rescued from Hacksaw Ridge. As I lowered Martinez over the cliff face, the rope in my hands worn smooth by constant use, I realized that my work here was finally done. I don't remember climbing down from Hacksaw Ridge that final time. Exhaustion, dehydration, and shock had taken their toll. The next thing I knew, I was waking up in the 77th Division's field hospital, surrounded by faces I recognized, men I'd pulled off that ridge. "How many?" I asked the nurse attending to me. 75, she said. "You saved 75 men." The number seemed impossible. 75 human beings, each with their own hopes and dreams, their own families waiting back home. In the space of 36 hours, from May 5th to May 6, 1945, I had somehow managed to single-handedly evacuate them from that killing ground without firing a shot or carrying a weapon. But the cost was enormous. The 307th Infantry Regiment suffered over 200 casualties in the battle for Hacksaw Ridge. The Japanese 62nd Division and 24th Independent Mixed Brigade fought with their characteristic fanaticism, turning every cave and tunnel into a fortress. Our intelligence estimates suggested that we'd killed over 300 Japanese soldiers in the fighting, but they'd made us pay dearly for every yard. Captain Vernon visited me in the hospital the next day. His left arm was in a sling. He'd been wounded during the withdrawal from the ridge, but he was alive. "Doss," he said, "I owe you an apology." "We all do. When you first joined the company, a lot of the men thought you were a coward for not carrying a weapon. Now we know better. "You're the bravest man I've ever served with." I didn't feel brave. I felt tired, bone deep tired, and heartbroken for all the men we'd lost. But I also felt something else, a profound sense of gratitude. Somehow, by God's grace, I'd been able to serve my country and save lives without compromising my beliefs. It was more than I dared hope for when I'd first enlisted. The Battle of Okinawa continued for another 6 weeks after Hacksaw Ridge, finally ending on June 21, 1945, with the suicide of General Ushijima and his chief of staff. The campaign cost the Americans over 12,000 dead and 36,000 wounded. Japanese casualties were even higher, over 100,000 killed, including thousands of civilians caught in the crossfire. But out of that carnage came something unexpected: recognition that there are different ways to serve one's country with honor. On October 12, 1945, President Harry S. Truman presented me with the Medal of Honor, the nation's highest decoration for valor in combat. I was the first conscientious objector to receive the award. The citation read, in part, "He was a company aide man when the 1st Battalion assaulted a jagged escarpment 400 feet high. As our troops gained the summit, a heavy concentration of artillery, mortar, and machine gun fire crashed into them, inflicting approximately 75 casualties and driving the others back." 75 casualties. 75 men who went home to their families instead of filling graves in some distant military cemetery. That's what mattered. Not the medal, not the recognition, but the lives saved. In the years since Okinawa, people have asked me how I reconciled my Christian beliefs with military service. The answer is simple. I served because I believed in my country and wanted to do my part, but I also believed that I could serve without taking life. My weapon was faith, my ammunition was compassion, and my objective was to preserve life rather than destroy it. War is a terrible thing, a failure of humanity that costs us our best and brightest. But sometimes it becomes necessary to stand against evil, to protect the innocent, to preserve freedom for future generations. The men I served with on Okinawa understood this. They carried rifles not because they loved killing, but because they loved life, American life, the American way of life, the right to worship freely and speak our minds and raise our children in peace. I never regretted my decision to serve as a medic rather than a combatant. In fact, I believe it made me more effective, not less. Because I carried no weapon, wounded Japanese soldiers didn't see me as a threat. Several times during my service, enemy soldiers who could have killed me chose not to, recognizing that I was there to heal rather than harm. This doesn't mean I was naive about the nature of war or the enemy we faced. The Japanese soldiers on Okinawa fought with incredible bravery and determination, defending what they saw as sacred homeland. But they also committed atrocities, using civilians as human shields, forcing mass suicides, torturing prisoners. Evil exists in this world, and sometimes good men must fight to stop it. Hacksaw Ridge, Hill 381 on the military maps, was secured by the 77th Infantry Division on May 21, 1945, after more than 2 weeks of brutal fighting. The position proved to be a key to breaking Japanese resistance in southern Okinawa and hastening the end of the campaign. But the real victory wasn't tactical or strategic. It was moral. In the midst of humanity's darkest impulses, ordinary men found the courage to do extraordinary things. They climbed that cliff knowing they might not come back. They charged machine gun nests to protect their buddies. They carried wounded comrades to safety under withering fire. And one man, one scared, faithful man from Virginia, proved that you don't need a weapon to be a warrior. You just need the courage to do what's right, even when everything around you is falling apart. The cost of taking Hacksaw Ridge extended far beyond the casualty reports. Many of the men I saved carried physical and emotional scars for the rest of their lives. Private Johnson, the first man I heard calling that terrible morning, lost his left leg below the knee but went on to become a successful teacher in his hometown of Detroit. Sergeant Miller, whose foot was destroyed by the mine, walked with a limp for the rest of his life, but always said he was grateful just to walk at all. Some weren't so lucky. The psychological wounds of war, what we called battle fatigue then and know as PTSD today, claimed many of the survivors in the years that followed. War doesn't end when the shooting stops. It echoes through generations, touching families and communities far from the battlefield. This is why I've spent my life telling this story, not to glorify war but to honor the sacrifice of the men who fought it. They deserve to be remembered not as statistics in a history book, but as human beings who gave everything for their country and their fellow soldiers. The atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945 ended the war before the planned invasion of Japan could take place. Military planners had estimated that Operation Downfall would cost over 1 million American casualties and many more Japanese deaths. The lessons learned at Okinawa about Japanese determination to fight to the death, about the cost of invading fortified positions, about the price of victory, influenced that decision to use this terrible new weapon. I've often wondered about the young Japanese soldier I encountered on Hacksaw Ridge, the one who lowered his rifle when he saw what I was doing. Did he survive the war? Did he return to his family? Did he live to see his country rebuilt and transformed into a peaceful democracy? I hope so. In that moment when we looked at each other across that battlefield, I saw not an enemy, but a young man caught up in forces beyond his control, just like the American boys I was trying to save. That's the real tragedy of war. It forces good people to do terrible things to each other. But it's also the source of war's occasional miracles. Moments when human decency transcends national boundaries, when compassion conquers hatred, when the better angels of our nature shine through the darkness. I was discharged from the Army in August 1945, just days after the Japanese surrender. The war was over, but its effects would remain with me forever. I'd seen too much death, too much suffering, too much waste of human potential. But I'd also seen incredible courage, sacrifice, and love, men willing to die for each other, willing to risk everything for strangers, willing to carry on when all hope seemed lost. Back home in Virginia, I married Dorothy Scott, my childhood sweetheart who'd waited for me through the war years. We raised a family, and I worked in construction and later at a veterans hospital. I tried to live quietly, to put the war behind me, but the memories remained vivid. Every May 5th, I remembered that morning on Hacksaw Ridge. Every time I heard someone cry for help, I was transported back to that coral plateau where desperate men called out in the darkness. Today, more than 75 years after Okinawa, the world still struggles with conflict, hatred, and war. New generations of young men and women put on uniforms and march off to foreign battlefields. The weapons have changed, the enemies have different names, but the fundamental truth remains. War is hell, but sometimes it becomes necessary to preserve what we hold dear. My message to these new warriors is simple. Serve with honor, protect the innocent, care for your fellow soldiers, and never forget that your enemies are human beings too. Carry weapons if you must, but carry compassion as well. Fight when you have to, but heal whenever you can. And remember that true courage isn't the absence of fear. It's doing what's right despite your fear. On Hacksaw Ridge, I was terrified every moment of those 36 hours. I was afraid of dying, afraid of failing, afraid of letting my buddies down. But I was more afraid of living with the knowledge that I could have saved lives and chose not to. As I write these words, I'm an old man looking back on a life shaped by a few days in May 1945. People often ask if I have any regrets about my service, about my decision to go to war without a weapon. The answer is no. I did what I believed was right, and by God's grace, I was able to serve my country and save lives without compromising my beliefs. The 75 men I pulled off Hacksaw Ridge went on to live full lives, They married, raised families, built careers, contributed to their communities. Some became doctors, others teachers, farmers, businessmen. They were fathers and grandfathers, coaches and mentors, pillars of their communities. All because, for a brief moment in history, one man chose to climb a rope instead of running away. That's my legacy. Not the Medal of Honor gathering dust in a display case, not the books and movies made about my story, but the lives saved and the lives those men went on to touch. The ripples from Hacksaw Ridge spread across decades, touching people who never knew what happened on that bloody escarpment in the spring of 1945. War is humanity's greatest failure, but it also reveals humanity's greatest potential. In the darkest moments, when everything seems hopeless, ordinary people find the strength to do extraordinary things. They climb cliffs under fire. They carry wounded comrades to safety. They choose compassion over hatred. That's the real victory of Hacksaw Ridge. Not that we took a strategic position or advanced the war effort, but that we proved it's possible to serve with honor while staying true to your deepest beliefs. You don't have to choose between patriotism and principles, between serving your country and serving your God. The rope I used to lower those 75 men to safety has long since rotted away, but the lesson remains. Sometimes the greatest weapon is no weapon at all. Sometimes the most courageous act is the gentlest one, and sometimes, in the midst of war's chaos and hatred, love finds a way to win. That morning on Hacksaw Ridge, when I heard the first cry for help echoing across that killing ground, I had a choice. I could stay safe in my foxhole, or I could risk everything to save a stranger. I chose to climb that rope, and it made all the difference. I pray that future generations will find the wisdom to avoid war altogether. But if they can't, I pray they'll remember the lesson of Hacksaw Ridge. That true victory comes not from taking life, but from saving it. Not from destroying your enemies, but from proving that love is stronger than hatred, compassion more powerful than cruelty, and faith more enduring than fear. The echoes of that battle still ring in my ears, but they're not the sounds of gunfire and explosions. They're the voices of 75 men calling out, "Thank you," as they disappeared over the edge of that cliff, carried to safety by a simple rope and an unwavering faith in the possibility of mercy, even in the heart of war's darkness. That's my story. That's the story of Hacksaw Ridge. And that's why, even today, I still believe in the power of one person to make a difference, one act of courage to change the world, one rope to bridge the gap between despair and hope. The war ended long ago, but the battle for human decency continues. May we all find the courage to climb our own ropes when the moment comes, to answer the call for help even when it means risking everything, to choose love over hatred, healing over hurting, hope over despair. That's the real victory. That's the victory that lasts.